Time Pro Bowler Charles Tillman. He's with us here on Tiki and Tierney. Peanut, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
We cannot complain. Look, we were throwing around some thoughts about what the Philadelphia Eagles might do at number 2. The foregone conclusion in a lot of people's minds is that they're going to take a quarterback. Could they take Jalen Ramsey? Is he good enough to be the second overall pick in the draft?
I think so. I mean, ever since their current quarterback, ever since he called and informed the team that he wasn't, he wanted a trade. So, yeah, I think that only makes sense for them to go after another quarterback and just start all over and rebuild that team.
As Tiki's nodding. Well, you guys stick together.
I don't think he's going anywhere, though. I mean, who wants him?
Bradford?
Who would want Sam Bradford?
You got to trade him. Don't you have to trade him?
I don't think anybody wants him, but I just think it's hard to you when you're on a team, or if you're the owner, if you're the head coach, you want your guys to want to play for you. And right now, he clearly is saying, I don't want to be here. I don't want to play for y'all. And that's something you can't win with that. You know, that's the wrong attitude to have, especially in the offseason. You can't win with that. So if you don't want a guy, if the guy doesn't want to be there and you can't win with that, hey, this is a business of winning. We're winning games. And if he's not winning, he's going to get some coaches fired. So if I'm that GM, he getting me fired. No, I don't want you here. Okay, you're gone. Let's get somebody else that wants to be here, that wants this opportunity.
Well said. I'm with you, man. It's also got to be a business, to a certain point of harmony. Now, I know that it's a locker room and there's 53 different personalities and not everybody's always on the same page. But if the quarterback is a divisive figure, it's going to trickle down, you would imagine. And I listen, Charles, I don't know if this is unfair to say about Sam Bradford, but to me, it's kind of a look at his competitive soul. I mean, is he that unwilling to hit the practice field and beat out what's probably going to be Carson Wentz or Chase Daniel, whoever the heck he is? I mean, doesn't this guy want to compete? Where's his professional pride?
Yeah, and for me, it's not even about that. I would think, a guy tearing his ACL 2 times, hasn't really done anything in the NFL, somebody giving you a third chance to compete and play, and for you to say, I don't want it anymore, I don't want to be here, I want to go somewhere else. I think you should, I don't know, me personally, I'd humble yourself.
Yeah.
I think it'd be different if you were a guy who was established and didn't want to be on a team anymore. Yeah, that's one thing. But when you haven't really done anything and you've basically received a boatload of cash and to be on the sideline, I think that's you can't do that. That's not right.
Charles, your most immediate former team, the Carolina Panthers, had an interesting offseason with Josh Norman. And I knew Dave Gettleman because he was in New York when I was here in moving up the ranks and towards a GM. Obviously, he goes to Carolina. He is the GM, and he seems like a no-nonsense. We are all about a system, not just system on the field, but a system in evaluating and paying players. With a guy like Josh Norman, who was homegrown in South Carolina, just felt like the hometown great story, now leaving because they don't want to reward him for his stellar play last year. What's the mentality in that Carolina Panthers locker room?
I think mentality is the same. You said it best. Mr. G is a no-nonsense guy. And, I think he felt what he did was in the best interest of the team. And that's between, whatever conversations that Mr. G and J-No had, well, that's between them. But, yeah, man, you got to respect his decision and, what he was, what he made. And I think he did that with the best interest of the team. Team's not – or you put the team first above one man. And I think that was, how he was thinking.
We're talking to Charles Tillman, terrific career, and it came from a smaller school, so his path, like so many, was a little less defined. And, I'm curious about this. When you're playing at Louisiana Lafayette, right, Ragin' Cajun?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you're playing at that level, what is the difference? And I'm trying to get a better feel for Carson Wentz. As a quarterback, when you're playing against quarterbacks on that level, I mean, how were you judged against guys that, for the most part, had no chance to play in the NFL?
How was I judged?
Yeah,
well,
by skill. Yeah.
I had a lot of guys out there, the Mel Kipers and the so-called Todd McKay, all the college football analysts that said
all the guys who never get it right. You mean those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was the guy they didn't get right.
Yeah.
He's too small, not coordinated, sloppy, tight hips, hasn't played against any real talent. I like to prove those guys wrong. And, Mr. Wentz, I hope he has a tremendous and a successful career. And he proves everybody wrong coming from a small school. I'm proof that it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter how you start, but it really matters how you finish. And I think I'm living proof of that. It doesn't matter the school. You don't have to go to a football powerhouse to play in the NFL.
That's certainly true. But at the quarterback position, don't you think it's a little bit different simply because of all of the complexity? Or, I mean, if you're given a situation where you can just learn, I guess that makes a difference. And that's kind of what Philadelphia is going after if they are to take Carson Wentz, right? He's going to get a chance to not have to play right away. That is, if they don't get rid of Sam Bradford, which we all think they will.
Right. I think but I also think, too, you have to put the quarterback in a winning situation. You can't just put him in any system and say, hey, go out here, run the system, and win. I think you have to give him the tools and you have to give him the time to learn, to grow as a player. And you have to set him up for success. And I think so many times people think that he's a first-round pick, we're just going to throw him. And we're going to throw him in a game, and it's sink or swim. But, everyone can't do that. Some people, they need that year to develop and grow.
Yeah. Peanut, I was talking to your former teammate, Matt Forte, yesterday. Had him on the show, obviously, as you know, now with the Jets here. I still think he's got a little juice. I still think he could play, no question. Yeah. Right? He's still got some juice.
I most definitely think so.
Okay.
Chicago, they seem to think differently. But, yeah, I think if you're sleeping on Matt Forte this season, you're an idiot, and he is going to run you over.
Yeah. All right, good. So we're on the same page with it.
Don't sleep on – quote me. Do not sleep on that guy.
I'm not.
He still has it.
No, we love him. We love him in this room.
Same page, man.
He's a do-everything guy.
But I asked him about Jay Cutler.
He is.
I asked him about Jay, and I want to get your thoughts. Over the years, we know the reputation about Jay Cutler. Is it earned or is it a little bit off base? You played with him for a while. What's your takeaway from your time with Cutler?
As far as what's the actual question? What's my time with him? I mean, I had a good time. Like, we got along as teammates. I think Jay Cutler gets a bad rep because of, I think they read his body language. I think his body language always screams like something is wrong. Mm-hmm. And people, perception is reality. People treat you how they perceive you, and they perceive him as being a jerk or a bad guy or just whatever. And I think that's the reputation that he has built over time just because of, who he is and how he carries himself.
Can he grow out of that, Charles? You know what I mean? Can he realize that and change it? Or does he not care?
I mean, I think he can change. I mean, I think we all can change, but at the end of the day, you are who you are.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to change to please anybody. I mean, if he's comfortable in his dove skin, by all means, do you, Jay?
Yeah.
I don't think he has to. I don't think he has to change to make me feel good or to make you two guys feel good. If he's, if he's comfortable with himself and his wife and his kids love it and his family and his close friends,
then it's all good.
I say, do you? It's all good.
Yeah, I agree with
Who
that.
am I to change for me? I don't sleep with you. I don't live with you. I don't have to be around you. So it doesn't do me. It doesn't do me nothing.
Yeah, and as a football player, you were on the other side of the ball. Now, a lot of people know that you are a military brat. Your father, and thank him for his service, was a sergeant in the U.S. Army. So you traveled around, but you do know the importance of the USAA and the appreciation that we all as a country, but particularly as some of us football players have for the USAA and the military. Tell us what you have going on with them.
So later on today, I'll be hanging out, doing a little draft party, hanging out with some of our U.S. military service members and, just telling stories about the draft, the whole experience, talking about some of the talent, some of their favorite teammates, and really just showing appreciation to our military. And I think USAA does an amazing job. You know, they're official military sponsor of the NFL, and they do a great job just showing their love and thanks and for our military. And the only thing our military really wants, man, they just want a big thank you from everybody. That's all they want. If you told a military service member in uniform, hey, thank you for your time and service, I guarantee you make their day great. Guaranteed.
Always.
So I challenge all your listeners, if y'all see someone in a military uniform, whether it be a Marine, a soldier, a sailor, an airman, just walk up to them and say, thank you for your time and service. I really appreciate you.
Well said.
It'll go a long way.
No
Love
doubt,
that, Charles.
No doubt.
That's a call to action that we can all get behind. So appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Oh, I saw you on Fox News the other day running for your How was you ran like a half marathon?
No,
right?
I ran the full marathon in Boston. It's funny. I was getting ready to say. I was getting ready to say this, Charles. When I was running, there was a couple of disabled veterans that were running as well, and I passed a couple of them. One only had one leg, one was missing an arm, and I slowed down, gave them dap, and said thank you for your service as we were running in the marathon. So to exactly what you were just saying. I love seeing those guys who go on and achieve despite some of the hardships that they face protecting and serving our country.
Good job.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. Nice. I never feel sorry for myself when I see a military service member or an amputee out there running a marathon, because I've never run one, and it just, whenever I start to feel sorry for myself, I think about that, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, listen.
How dare I feel sorry for myself?
Hey, it makes the draft seem very trivial. Peanut, we got to bounce. Great job. We'll talk to you soon, buddy. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Be good, brother.
You doing some good stuff there. Charles Peanut Tillman.